In this here video, we are going to do some converting between decimals and percents, so going both directions. Really not the most difficult of conversions once you know the tools. So first things first, a percent means out of 100. So anytime you see a percent sign, you can think 100. So when I'm thinking, let's change 73% to a decimal. Now, it's actually easier to change a percent to a fraction because of this out of 100. So that's kind of the first thing you can think about. If percent means out of 100, I could change it to a fraction. Now, that's great, but that doesn't help me. If you understand a fraction bar is division, this is the same as 73 divided by 100. And if you type that into a calculator, you're going to get 0 and 73 hundredths, right? Now, think this through. Percent to a decimal. Notice what we did. 100 is 2 zeros, basically 2 decimal places. So if I have 73%, let me change color for effect, and I say I'm going to take the decimal point, which right now is at the end. To change it to a decimal, I simply divide by 100, which moves the decimal over and makes it 0.73. So converting 2% to a decimal. Now, right now, that's 2 point. Again, percent is out of 100. If I take 2 and divide it by 100, that moves the decimal 2 places. I have an open spot, so I will have 0.02, right? 2 hundredths would be 2% as a decimal. So if you want, you can think about this as 2 over 100 and then actually divide. Or you can think in your head, divide by 100 is move 2 decimal places to the left, and you have yourself a decimal. So if I have 34.6%, divide by 100 means move 2 decimal points, and I have 0.346, or 346 thousandths. 346 thousandths, because we are 3 decimal places past. Now let's go the other direction. Let's go to from a decimal to a percent. Now you can kind of do it the same thing. If you want, you could turn this into a fraction first over 100, then to a percent, but that's a little bit more difficult. It kind of goes the other way. If to change from a percent to a decimal, we divide by 100, then going from a decimal to a percent, we multiply by 100. So if you take 0.06 and multiply by 100, that is the same as moving the decimal place 2 places to the right. So 0.06, move that decimal plate 2 to the right, and I end up with 6%. 0.48 to a percent. Again, if we multiply by 100 and move that 2 places, 0.48 times 100 gives me 48%. And if you think about this logically, right, 48% is pretty close to 50. 50% is kind of like half. Right, well, 50% is half. So this is really close to 1/2. 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5, right? You can see how all of these things kind of go together. So when you're changing from a decimal to a percent, think about those that you know off the top of your head, right? Is this close to 0.5 or 0.25, 0.75? We can think in terms of money, quarters, half dollars, 75 cents. Those decimals are easy for us because we deal with them a lot. Use those to help you go back and forth, right? Percent is out of 100. There are 100 pennies in a dollar. You can think of these things as equivalencies to help you make the connections in your own mind. Now let's do one that's not quite as easy, right? When they're hundredths, we can deal with the money concept, and that's pretty nice. But in this case, we have thousands. We have 3 places past the decimal point, and it's a little bit more tricky. So when you think about this, I should have said trickier. Grammar, it's a thing. Okay, so now decimal to a percent. Again, we multiply by 100, moving our decimal point 2 places to get 9.8%. That's the end of that one. Thanks.